A Michigan State professor is still dealing with survivor's guilt. He questions why he wasn't shot after the gunman opened fire inside of his classroom, killing 2 of his students. I sat down with him and learned how he's working to heal a year after this tragedy.
He shot and shot and shot and shot. And I just felt as though this was not real.
Marco Diaz-Munoz can't shake this nightmare, but says he's working to pull himself together.
How are you feeling today, Marco?
I think there's a part of me that is not well. I feel antsy, nervous.
Yeah. You still feel nervous?
Nervous and antsy. And someone said, and like on continuous alert.
Diaz-Munoz says he's relying on therapy to ease that anxiety and to cope with survivor's guilt.
Some of them didn't make it. How fair is that? Why were they the ones that passed and not me? When you think in those lines, you feel guilty just for being alive. I felt guilty.
The shooter killed Ariel Anderson and Alexandria Werner inside Diaz-Munoz's classroom. They are 2 of 3 students the gunman killed on campus.
I cried that night, and I grieved to some extent, but very quickly my mind, my psyche was powerful enough to kind of like just shut it down. So I'm addressing those feelings and finding a different explanation, like, you know, in therapy, you couldn't change it. You weren't God to change what happened.
He is changing his perspective.
They deserve to have a healthy life.
By encouraging himself and his students to appreciate the fragility of life.
So when I see mine now, I don't take him for granted. We can be here today, and a few minutes later, we're not.
Well, Professor Diaz-Munoz says he won't forget the joy Ariel Anderson and Alexandria Werner brought him in his classroom. He will continue, though, learning to talk through his trauma in hopes that one day he'll be able to better navigate his pain.